guys, let's do the daily update video here. We got Bitcoin breaking above the weekly resistance that we had in the last video, this big weekly resistance where if you scroll out you see, where we hit this multiple times in the past, here, that almost came up to it and rejected, got support there. So it's the same weekly resistance we had been looking at, and so when we flipped that, it became support on this retest right here. Now if you're in the Discord, you saw I shared this yesterday, this rising wedge pattern as we were approaching the breakout here. And I said I was going to be looking for a long right here if we broke this rising wedge pattern, because what it looks like to me is, obviously we've been waiting to see. So this looks like a one wave, a two wave, three wave, which has five waves within it, down to here, and we were looking for a fourth wave to end somewhere around here, ideally below this resistance, and then we would go down for a fifth. But this resistance didn't hold. We flipped it as support, and as this correction played out, we formed a structure that potentially could be a reversal structure, where this wouldn't be a five wave move down. It would actually just be an A, B, and then a C down with five waves in it, and this could actually be a reversal where we could potentially go up and make new highs. That's always a possibility. All we can do is just try to figure out what's the most probable. And currently, based on this structure, the way that it formed, if I'm looking at this correctly, this is potentially a 1-2 right here, where you had somewhat of a leading diagonal right here, which is pretty obvious that was a diagonal pattern. You can put the rising wedge diagonal pattern on that, and we corrected out of that. It looks like in an expanded flat, the B takes out the high, C comes down, goes lower than the A. So that's like a picture perfect expanded flat pattern where the C doesn't go lower than the origin of this first wave. And then we come out of that with another rising, or another diagonal, another leading diagonal, 1 A, B, C for that 2. So what it is it ends up being a nested 1-2, where you have a 1-2, and then you have the 1-2 of the next five waves to make up that third. So you see this is the big 1-2, and then from that 2, that green 2 to that 3 up there, you have five waves within that, and so this would just be the first 1-2 of that five waves. And so this kind of pattern right here plays out, and it normally signifies bullishness, because when you have a nested 1-2, it obviously means that you can project out for a higher target, because you've got two 1-2s and you still have a big third wave yet to come. And so usually when those break out of this rising wedge pattern right here, you can expect an explosive move. And so far what I want to do is look at, we've gotten above this was weekly resistance, we flipped that to support. We've got above the monthly resistance, we had a little bit of a rejection there back down to this support, and then we got above that as well. Now what we need to look at is some fib levels here. So if we pull this fib retracement from the high down to the low of where that fifth wave ended, we've come right to the 0.5 and we've rejected off of that so far. So we've had a small rejection on the 0.5, which is very standard. Algorithms kick in, you get a rejection there. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to have the reversal there, but you're going to have some kind of reaction. And so whenever I'm scalping, I'm usually looking at these higher time frame 0.5s, and so when I'm down on the lower time frames like 5 minute or whatever, I'm looking at where I can do scalp opportunities off these 0.5 fibs. So this would have been a very nice scalp opportunity if you're aware of these fib levels. You could have got in, you could have scaled in as it approaches that and played the reaction. So you almost get close to a 1% rejection off that, if you're wanting to scalp. So, and the good thing about that is you can make these trades where you get in and you have quite tight stop losses. So you can do like 1-to-1 risk to reward, something like that, because you're going to be right most of the time because you have those algorithms behind you keeping it from going above the 0.5 on the first test, and you can take that quick scalp with a relatively tight stop. So I just wanted to show that to you real quick. Let's go back to the 2 hour. So we've hit that 0.5. We've had that small rejection so far. Now using this pattern right here, what I want to do is project to where this could likely go to. And so what I would do is I would take the fib extension. Now you can do it two different ways. You want to project the first 1 2 and see where it's likely to end. So if we go from the beginning of that one up to the top of that green one right there, and then down to the low of that 2. See how it did a ABC correction for that 2? We didn't take out the low, it was just pretty much a double bottom. Now let's pull this over and then look and see where we've gotten so far. So currently you can see that we've hit some resistance right in here at the 1618, is where you would expect. We got resistance right there. We've chopped around it. It was around the monthly resistance as well. So we've had a little bit of a resistance zone right there that kind of chopped us up for a while, but now we've gotten above that 1618. So the next extension would be the 2618, which is just happens to be up above the 618 up here. And you can see we have this resistance zone right here where we had support before. So all of this is resistance, and then all the way up, pretty much, from there all the way up into that 2618, because you have the 618, the 2618 extension of this move, and the resistance zone back here that was support. So you have kind of a range. I'm just going to take this off now. You have somewhat of a zone up here that could potentially be the end of, if this is going to be a third wave, could potentially end right in here. And then you'd have, if this is going to remain bullish, we would come up for a fifth wave that completes the higher degree third wave, which would be this 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 3 4, and then we come up for a 5 that could potentially take out the previous highs back here. So it's just probabilities. We don't really know what's going to happen. What I'm looking for is, ideally what I would be looking for is something like this, because like I said, from Discord yesterday, I said I was going to be longing this breakout. We had the flow strategy also signal along right here as well, so it added confluence to that signal. What I would be looking for is to come up into here to where we had prior support, to take profit on this long. That's currently what I'm looking for. And then obviously if this is going to remain bullish, I would expect some kind of reaction out of this zone, and then if we do get back above that zone, I might be looking for for higher prices. But the other option that I'm looking for is, if this does not get above this 0.5 and this count's just invalidated, where we reject off this 0.5, it's going to be a setup a lot like what I've been sharing. I've shared, 20 different setups in the Discord the last couple days, where you look for these channels to form and you wait for the false breakout. So let's say that this comes back down like this, to where we go back within this channel. Whenever that happens, normally it gravitates to the lower end of that channel rather quickly. And for what we know, currently with this count, it looks like a 1 2 3. This could potentially be a 4 ending at this 0.5, or it could end at this 618, and we could easily come down for a fifth wave that takes out these lows, because there is a CME gap down here around 9600, which odds are that those do eventually get filled. And so with the current structure like we have, if this does end up being a false breakout of this pattern that we have of this rising wedge, I would expect any rejection back down into this channel to be a reversal, and us to take out these lows. That's personally what I'm looking at right now. And so, as long as we hold above this rising wedge, this breakout, I would expect that we have to gravitate up to this level up here. But if we do reject at the 0.5 and this starts to come crashing down back into this zone, I'm going to be looking to short on a close back inside this channel, and be targeting lower lows right here. At least 9.6, where the CME gap is where I would be targeting if this goes to break down back into this channel. I think that would be a pretty straightforward trade. Not only would it be straightforward getting back into this channel, but also dipping back below this weekly support right here. If it got back below that weekly support and then retested, I mean, that's just a very, very obvious short entry right there for taking out these lows. So that's what I'm looking for. Not really doing anything right now. I'm just holding this long, seeing if we're gonna get up to this zone of resistance. And I can also do the fib extension on, I don't have to do just this 1-2. I can also do this 1-2 right here, this white 1-2, because it's a nested 1-2. Both of these are going to have targets. So if I do that one, you can see we've come to the 1-to-1 right now, between the 1-to-1 and the 0.5. That's basically where we're at currently. And then we have the 1-6-1-8 actually up here for this 1-2. So if this pattern plays out, high probability is that this white 1-2, the white third wave would, high probability would hit the 1-6-1-8 right here. And so if this pattern is correct, and we're not going to reject and come back in this channel and then play the short opportunity like I was showing. So that's why I'm currently holding long. I want to see it get up more into this range up here between the 618 and the 1618 right here of that fib extension. It would have to push up above, it'd have to push up into this resistance right here where we had prior support, get up into that area right there. I think that would be a good take profit area for the long that I got into right here. But yeah, obviously it is a very real possibility that 0.5s get respected quite well, especially when you have a fresh rejection like we've had, such a strong rejection. These 0.5s do get respected. So you have to keep in mind the possibility that this would reject back down into this channel, and you'd be playing a short back to take out these lows down here. So I'm keeping my eye on that as well. And so I will keep everybody updated in the Discord as this plays out, kind of what I'm doing. But currently I'm just holding long, and I'll probably trail my stop loss. At this point I'm just going to be at break even, because if it's going to come all the way back down here, it's probably going to go back into this channel, and at that point I'm going to be looking to short. So I want to be trailing my stop loss up at this point. So I think that's pretty much it for today. I don't want to drag this out too long, but the scenarios I see right now are we continue up to here, and then we get a rejection, and then we have to decide what this is going to do. Is it going to continue higher, or is it going to break down, or are we going to reject off this 0.5 and get back in here where I'll be looking to short back in this channel to go to at least to the bottom of that channel, and then a retest of that, and then take out these lows. Or obviously this could continue higher and fulfill taking out the highs, and it fulfills this pattern that we've formed right here, projecting out into the future. So there's a lot of options right now. We have to wait until it gets to these regions and then kind of react to it. And so just stay tuned in the Discord, and I'll be sure to kind of track this as it goes. I'll see you guys next time.